Hello and welcome to the Witchy Weather Report. Now we're live everywhere. I was I was like, "Oh no, there's something wrong. I'm not live on Facebook." You know what was wrong, y'all? I didn't click the go live button. I'm great. I'm great at this. It's I'm really I'm a professional broadcaster. Oh my goodness. Well, good morning, happy new year. I was just saying to my Instagram friends, yes, Mercury is in the Gatorade. Once again, we have Gatorade. Um, yes. Mercury is rehydrating after a difficult match. That's what's going on right now. All right, now the thing is live. Now I can do the thing. So welcome, happy new year, everybody. I hope you're feeling excellent on this final day of the year. And I'm going to be reading for you today with the Everyday Witch Tarot by Deborah Blake. So get excited. It's my favorite tarot deck as a day-to-day go-to. You know what I mean? It's always safe. I always want to consult this tarot deck. I feel comfortable with it. It's going to lay the truth on me, but it's not going to smack me in the face with the truth as some tarot decks might. And it's adorable, and everyone on it is really cute, and there's a cat on every card, which definitely like kind of works for me. You know what I'm saying? So yes, okay, let's get started. Happy New Year. It's December 31st. I am going to make a pledge to you to get to everyone today because it's the new year. I love the new year. The new year is one of my favorite holidays. I'm aware that it's arbitrary, and I don't care. Because it means a lot to me. It means a lot to just have a moment to check in and mark time. I like to do that on my birthday, and I like to do that on the new year, and I happen to think it's not arbitrary. I happen to think it's really smart to put holidays about renewal and intention in the middle of, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, you know, the winter and a time when it's like people are experiencing seasonal affective disorder and seasonal depression, and there's less sunlight, and it gives us hope. It gives us an opportunity. You know what I mean? So that's the way I feel about that. Hey Ruby, how are you? Ooh, romantic info for the coming year. I love it. Okay, I see some people dropping cats in the chat. I'm going to get to my patrons first. Hey, Celia. Hey, Emmy. Hey, Brittany. Hello, everyone who just joined. If you joined late because you couldn't find it on the Facebook, it's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. I forgot to press go live. And I'm over here like, what's wrong with Facebook? Like refreshing it again and again and again. It's me. I'm the problem. Rory Kelly is in fact the problem. So I've got cards to pull for patrons, then I've got cards to pull for everyone else. So don't worry, I will get to you in time. But first, let me pull a card for everybody for this coming month. I know it is New Year's. I'm not going to pull a whole card for the whole year because that puts a lot of pressure on it and puts a lot of pressure on us. However, if you do want a card for the year, I'm offering my guide card readings. I only do guide card readings. I do not do a predictive one card reading for the new year because that's a lot. Again, a lot of pressure to put on the year. And what if you get a bad card? Then you're like bummed out all year. No. I do guide card readings. A guide card is not predictive. It is a wise card of advice. So you can still get a bummer card, but then you have to learn how that bummer card helps you. I had the Tower this year. You know what? It helped me. Because I was asked to embody the Tower rather than watch out for the Tower. I was asked to be the thing. So that is what a guide card reading is. They are on sale currently for $18 on my Etsy, etsy.com/shop/that's-fast-tarot, which is at the link in my bio if you're on Instagram, and scrolling across the bottom for everybody else. And I'm now only doing readings through Etsy because there have been so many, fakers and spammers on Instagram, and I'm not a cool enough account to have people do that to me yet, I don't think. But I don't want to risk it, so I'm only doing readings through Etsy now, unless you're like a dear friend of mine and you text me, that's okay. If we know each other and you text me, it's fine. But I don't want to lead anyone astray by doing selling readings in my DMs because there are a lot of like scam accounts that are trying to do that now with tarot readers. Did you know that? Oh my goodness. Speaking of spammers, let me describe to you how we run things here. If you're new to the Witchy Weather Report, welcome. This is the time of the month where I do a one card pull kind of for everyone, for the community, and then get to as many one card pulls as I can for everybody in the space of 1 hour. So I always recommend that you get here early. If you're already here, you're good. If you would like a reading, instead of typing, please give me a reading, can I ask you to please drop a cat in the chat, either a cat emoji or write the word meow. And the reason we do that is because of spammers. Because the last time I did a Witchy Weather Report, we did get some spammers in the chat being like, just random spammers like, I will read a crystal ball for you, miss. Pay me money. And it's like, no, that's not what we do. We don't go on other people's broadcasts and try to scam people. Just no. So to avoid the spammers, what we do is we type a cat in the chat. Hey, Danny, how you doing? Okay, so here's our card for everybody. Welcome to the Witchy Weather Report. Our card right now is the Nine of Wands. This is a funny card to get at the end of the year because does anyone else feel a little sick and butthurt by 2022? Just me? Just me? Because I'm a little Dunions. I'm a little Dunions with this year. The Nine of Wands is this card that's like, hey, it's almost over. And I just think it's a very funny card to get on the last day of the year. So y'all, if you've been giving it your all and you're feeling depleted and you're feeling exhausted, I want you to know this too shall pass. Like really, but it's going to pass soon. You don't have to stress. You don't have to continue to live your life in anxiety and like stress mode and putting out fires. You're okay. Your only job right now is to stay the path. If you've been pushing towards something important to you and or pushing to correct something that's something important to you, like struggling to get out of debt, struggling to correct a problem, struggling to whatever, like leave a bad situation at work, I want you to know that like you're in the home stretch. So it's not the time to give up. Giving up is not a good idea. Like people tend to give up right before they have a breakthrough. That's a big bummer. Don't do that. Instead, what I'm going to ask you to do is just stay strong and take care of yourself and know that you're on your way forward. You're on a good trajectory. You're going to be to a place where you can relax soon. So stay the course. That is our big message right now for everyone. Stay the course. Hey, Lana Marie, how are you? Undine says, wasn't a fab year. Yeah, hard agree. Hard agree. And it's funny because every year since, I don't know, like the last 10 of them, people have been posting at the end of the year, like, oh gosh, nobody, tiptoe into the year. Nobody say this is your year. Every single year people are like, what a bummer of a year this was. And it's like, you know what? Maybe we need to stop putting so much pressure on a whole year to be good because no year can be all good or all bad. But I will say we've had a couple of real bummer years. So that's a real thing. Hope you're well. Thank you for asking. I'm mostly well. I have a little cold. I don't know if you can hear it. My husband always looks at my YouTube shorts and, cause he's like a big YouTube watcher and he like will look at my YouTube shorts and he'll like them to help me give me the engagement. He'll like report on how they're doing to me, which is really nice. And he was like, your last YouTube short, you sounded a little congested. And I'm like, that's cause I was. But yeah, so I'm sorry if I sound a little congested. It's cause I am. I'm pretty sure it's not COVID. It's just a cold. I don't have big symptoms. I can still smell and taste things. I've done the COVID thing before, so I know what it feels like. But I have not done a test yet because I have not yet had to leave the house for anything. I am isolating in my room because even if it's just a cold, I don't need to give it to my husband. Anyway, we're all going to get there. We're in the home stretch. All right, I'm going to begin pulling cards for people. I know I have a couple of patrons to get to first. By the way, if you're a patron, I would need to let you know patrons always get to skip the line. I have had patron requests come in on Patreon, Discord, and Voxer and my text program today, so I'm going to try and remember to get to everyone. I said all those things out loud in part to remind myself where to look for people's card requests. So let me first take a hydration checkpoint here and then pull cards. I want to tell you, I do not have anything pressing after the Witchy Weather Report today, so I am going to, if I run late, I'm going to run late. I'm not even worried about it. I'm going to get to everyone. I promise. That's a promise from Rory to you. All right. Grayson requested a card. If you're taking requests for cards for the Witchy Weather Report, I would love one. Looking for someone for casual dating. What do I need to be aware of before I start looking? Love this question. Love this very specific question of like, here's the topic and here's what I want to know about it. That's a great way to ask a question of the tarot cards. All right. Let's pull a card. We have the Page of Pentacles. And my thumb almost landed on the card right behind it, the Nine of Cups, so I'll give you 2 cards, because if the cards accidentally do it, you get 2. I don't pull 2 cards for everyone, but if they seem to want it. So we have the Page of Pentacles, then we have the Nine of Cups. So what you need to know, I mean, this is actually like a pretty clear message to me. The Page of Pentacles leads to the Nine of Cups. So the Page of Pentacles is someone who is forthright, trying to figure it out, not necessarily in their zone of genius yet. You know what I mean? Let's put it that way. The Page of Pentacles doesn't necessarily know everything yet. The Page of Pentacles is still learning and may still make mistakes, especially in their enthusiasm. Pages are like mini fools. So this is someone who may or may not have their whole life together yet in terms of like basic stability. However, key difference from like the Knight of Wands or something, this person wants to have their whole life together and they're actively trying to improve their life. They're actively doing the work. They're actively doing the self-betterment work. They may be like, newer to the path than other people, but they're actively trying to figure out what they want and trying to figure out in this arena. And then we have the Nine of Cups. So Page of Pentacles leads to fulfillment. So I would say don't set your sights necessarily on someone who like has it all figured out. Don't necessarily assume that someone older is better. Don't necessarily assume that that someone who like kind of checks all the boxes is better. You may find happiness with someone who is either new to the scene or just like I said, in a place in their life where they are trying to work things out and figure out where they need to be. And that is actually the thing that has potential to bring you fulfillment. I will also say another flip way of looking at this is to give yourself new eyes. You know what I mean? Is to acknowledge like, okay, I have a right to create stability in my life, even though you're talking about casual dating. Like, this is still something that contributes to day-to-day stability, right? So that means you have a right to set parameters. You have a right to identify what's going to work for you and what's going to not work for you, even if you're not super good at that or haven't been in the past. Now is the time. Like, now is the time to identify, like, hey, what's going to make this work in a really simple baseline way? And if you just commit to doing that work, even if you're not great at it, it will lead you to more fulfillment than if you don't do it. So both things are true. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I see people making requests for cards. I will get to you eventually. I have a lot of card requests today. Next up, we have Lisa Diana from Ginger Dawn Studios. And I think Lisa Diana actually added a question on Patreon. Let's go to Patreon. Okay, if you're a patron, you get to submit a card request early. This is something I do just for my patrons. If you would like to become a patron, you can. We love you. We would love to have you in the community. It's patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot. As a matter of fact, I will take a moment to drop all those links in the chat. If you're on Instagram, they're all on the link in my bio. But that's my Etsy link, my virtual tip jar link, as well as my Patreon link. Hang on, I just realized it's not on there. Whoops. Okay, there we go. So let me just throw that in the chat for everyone. My patrons get early access to every episode. We actually do a live broadcast of every episode, so I don't just record it and release it. I record it with the patrons there. So if you hear me talking to people, and sometimes on my podcast, on Sassafras Cast, getting people's questions and ideas into the podcast, that's because that's my patrons, and they are there tuned in for that. I also do, at different levels, a card of the month for my $10 patrons. I also do... So it's really like 2 cards a month, because patrons also get to skip the line for the Witchy Weather Report. And for my $5 patrons, I do bonus episode, $5 and up, so everyone and up. And everyone at every level gets to join the Witchy Discord community I have, and as well as skip line for the Witchy Weather Report. I just think that's a nice thing to do to folks who are supporting me in that way. So, oh my gosh, already we have, if you're on Twitch, I apologize, because already we have a spammer. Yeah, you know what? I know from experience that that particular type of spammer usually just leaves a message and goes away. So if they come back, I will give you mod powers. But for right now, I'm not logged into Twitch. I'm not going to stress about it. I will, like, report them later or whatever. But thank you for asking, Brittany. Hey Bex Tarot. Hey, if everyone is not following Bex Tarot already, like what are you even doing with your life? On Instagram, Bex BEX_tarot has been posting like really nice regular card polls and insights and perspectives. It's a really good vibe. So please follow their channel. How are you doing? Okay, next up we have Lisa Diana. I got interrupted by a spammer because life. I am going to go to the Patreon and take a look at Ginger Dawn Studios' question. Okay, here's my question. What can I do to help myself increase my frustration tolerance level so I can be a better daily full-time caregiver to my parents? I love this question again because it's very specific and it's like, how can I help me, right? It's not like, is help coming? It's how can I help me be the miracle you wish to see in the world? Also, just sending so much love. I know you've just kind of stepped into a caregiver role, and I just want to send you love and energy around that. I know that can be really hard, and that's also a really beautiful gift to give to your loved ones. So, okay, we have the Hanged Man. Really, the answer to your question is accept that things may not be settled. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have a practice over the coming weeks and months of accepting that you don't know what tomorrow may bring, that some days are going to be better than others, and that not everything is in your control. So I advise you, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Bex Tarot just said, your hair is so beautiful. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting the reading to say that. So Lisa Diana, what I want to tell you is the Hangman is an opportunity to get in touch with yourself and your values. It doesn't mean you can do nothing, but it does mean that all the things you're going to do are internal. So it's an opportunity to ask yourself, who am I in the face of uncertainty? Who am I in the face of things not being settled? Maybe they'll never be settled, right? Maybe I'm going to have to adjust to a day-to-day that I can't control 100%, and you can give yourself touchstones along the way. You can inject stability into your day. I see actually from your Facebook post that that's something you're working on doing, is creating like a reliable routine for yourself and your parents. So you can do that to an extent, but you can't control what happens every day. You can't control what happens next month. You can't control when there are fires to put out. You can only control you. So what I want to ask you is, who are you in the face of instability? Because that's what the Hanged Man asks. Who are you in the face of instability? Okay. I see that we have got a spammer in the chat. I am blocking them. So sorry, Facebook friends. We had someone, I think I got him on the first one. It always happens. We always get spammers. That's why we do the cat thing, because I try my best to avoid the spammers. All right, so that is your answer. If you joined recently and you did not get the card for everyone, it's the 9 of Wands. If you are feeling bedraggled and exhausted, this is your sign to stay the course. It's all going to be over soon, but don't give up prematurely. Just stay committed to the things that really matter to you, because you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here if you weren't committed, right? You wouldn't be at this bedraggled point if you didn't really have a deep soul commitment. So keep committed to what really matters for you, and know that it's not always going to be this hard. You're in the home stretch. Okay. I also have Anna/Tiger. Anna, are you tuned in? How are you doing? I feel like I might have seen you say meow. I can't remember. And I think I had one more patron. Oh yes, Brittany also asked for a card. Brittany, can you repeat to me what your question was? Because I think it's in my Voxer and my phone is currently in use on Instagram Live. Doing my best over here. All right. I don't actually see Tiger yet, I don't think. Anna/Tiger, same human, 2 names. Love it. I stop at 1. Hey, Chaka, how you doing? So I'm going to answer Brittany's question first. Tiger, Anna, if you're here, type something in the chat so I know, because I'm going to wait for you to show up before I play your card for you so that you don't have to go back to the replay. If I don't see you in a couple of people, I'll just pull a card. Okay, and I think if I'm correct, I believe that's all the patron requests I got. Oh, and Ruby. Ruby's also a patron who requested a card. So let me do Ruby, then Brittany, then Anna. Then I'm going to get to everyone who has requested a card in the chat. And like I said, today, I'm going to stick around. I am going to do requests for everyone. By the way, I want to let you know, if anything is going on with any stream you're tuned into, you can feel free to tune in a different channel, and that sometimes helps. Sometimes if Instagram isn't looking so good or isn't coming through well, then Twitch will be better. And I'm on 4 places right now. I'm on Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. And all of those are at Sassafras Tarot. All one word, SASSAFRASTAROT. Woo, spelled it right. Pressure was on. So Brittany, remind me of what your question was for your card of the day, and I'm going to pull a card for Ruby right now. Oh wait, what was your card of the day, Ruby? I think you also asked me for a question, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Well, I'm pulling a card for you. Consider it, please, in the context of your question. Ruby, here is your card. Your card, Ruby. This is another one where like it kind of wanted to give you 2. I'm going to read them like a story. We have the Empress and the Ace of Cups. This is a really simple message, Ruby. Taking loving care of yourself and those that you care about will lead you to the emotional breakthrough you need. If you are feeling worn out, if you're feeling bedraggled, the only answer is care. The only answer is care and nurturing of yourself, care and nurturing of those you love. You know, like your small human, and care and nurturing of the things that matter most to you. And then that is what leads to the emotional breakthrough. If you're like, oh gosh, I need to feel better, I need replenishment, I need to have the epiphany that's going to carry me through. Well, you know what? There is one road to that epiphany, and that road is care. That road is self-care. No question. Okay, good. Well, that's my answer to you. Take incredibly good care of yourself. When in doubt, take wonderful care of yourself, because the more you take care of yourself, the more you will experience that renewal. It's a literal practical thing, but it's also that as you take care of yourself, it opens your eyes up to the miracles that are possible in your life. And you know my statement on miracles is like that miracles are a thing we can create ourselves and we can create for each other. I don't necessarily associate them with religious things, but I do use the word miracle because I want to indicate that feeling of awe, that feeling of like, oh wow, holy crap, something bigger than me is happening here, even though I think we can be at the helm of them for ourselves and others. You know what I mean? I want you to know that miracles are possible, and they're possible when we take wonderful care of ourselves and show up for our values. And that's what you're being asked to do, is just take incredibly good care of yourself. Be nurturing to yourself and to the people in your life to whom, you know, who are important to you. I want to share with you, actually, by the way, it's a good time to let you know, I made a New Year's resolution. I'm not always a resolution girl. I'm always a goals girl. I always have goals. And I'll tell you, I'll just be honest with you because we share things earnestly. I never asked my 3 questions. Okay, everybody, 3 questions. Answer me these questions 3. Where are you tuned in from? How you feeling? I want the real answer, not the polite answer. I want to really know because we're vulnerable and compassionate and we support each other here. What you sipping on? I'm sipping on water. Anyway, I accomplished 0 of my 2022 goals. And I'm not mad about it. I mean, I'm mad about it. I'm not mad at myself about it. Because it was not about laziness. I think people put a lot on themselves at the time of New Year's. There's a lot of sense of power of like, I'm going to change my life. With that power comes a lot of pressure of like, I have to be perfect in order to change my life. And if I can't change my life, it's my fault, right? We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to magically do a perfect thing that maybe never in our lives have we been able to do. And I want to suggest to you that this year, maybe you could set yourself up for success by asking yourself what you want. Like, yes, absolutely. Let's change our lives. You know, let's improve our lives. Let's level up. But can we level up in a way that just works for us instead of a way that demands constant willpower? Because that's an unrealistic expectation of literally anybody. Nobody has constant willpower. That's not how human beings work. So rather than make resolutions of yourself that demand you to be constantly vigilant and constantly on your game, what if you set things in place so that it's easy to not fail? And what if you consider your goals and make your goals be less about like, I'm going to do XYZ by this date, which may sound great, but like life may intervene. And what if you make your goals more about like, here's what I can control and here's what I will put in, and find that sweet spot between making the goals about like what I can do, what I can change in the world without putting so much pressure on yourself that you set yourself up for self-sabotage. That is my question for you, because I hit 0 of my 2022 goals, and you know what? I'm I'm owning it, and I'm also telling you that I made a lot of progress on them through about May, and May was when I had a couple of financial crises and a big health crisis, and that kind of dominated a lot of the rest of my year. And I got through some stuff in 2022. That's what I did in 2022. I dealt with problems as they came to me, and my therapist tells me that I did a lot of self-valuation work, and I think she's right. I did a lot of work around what I will accept, what I won't accept, and how I show up for myself, and becoming a better friend to myself in 2022. So I will take that. I'll take that because that's a longer term win than the individual goals I had set for 2022. I can still hit those goals, but being a better friend to myself and showing up for myself better is priceless. However, am I salty about it? Yeah, I'm salty about it. I'm mostly salty at the year bringing me so much stress that I couldn't hit my goals. But it is affecting how I'm going to set my goals in 2023. I'm going to try to be realistic with myself that, you know what, sometimes 6 months of nonsense does happen. And so maybe I should plan for that in my goal setting. Maybe I should be aware that could happen. I will tell you the resolution I have set for myself, and the resolution I have set for myself, not a goal, a resolution, something I'm going to write down somewhere that I can see every single day because it's important to me, is to take care of myself relentlessly. And Brittany today was asking me, what does relentlessly versus consistently mean? Well, consistently, you can be consistent and still get it wrong sometimes, right? You can be consistent. I mean, same with relentless, but you can be consistent and be like, okay, because I'm consistent, I can take a day off right now because I'm consistent. It doesn't matter. That's actually the blessing of consistency, right? If you post every single day on Instagram because you're trying to be a social media influencer, and then you feel crappy for a few days and take a few days off, you don't lose your whole following. It's okay. Your consistency is there for you and it's back for you when you pick it up again, right? Relentless means I accept nothing less than caring really well for myself. Relentless means when I'm faced in a situation that really puts me on the wire, my choice is self-care. Relentless means that I don't care what's happening externally. I do care that I show up for myself. This is the one biggest commitment I'm making all year, is to care for myself relentlessly, to not put myself last, to put myself first in every case, with loving care for myself. Part of caring for myself is being in my integrity. So this is not a selfish resolution, because if I'm not in my integrity, I can't sleep. So that is a part of self-care. All right. Brittany, what is your card request? Oh, Brittany's over here. A couple of financial crises and a major health crisis also describes my 2022. Cheers. Cheers to everyone who's had a nonsense 2022. I see you. I care about you. I'm here for you. All right. Hey, Judith, how you doing? We're going to do Brittany. We're going to do Tiger. We're going to do Judith because Judith is a patron. She gets to skip the line. Then we're going to go and see everybody else. Don't worry. I got you. Chakra says this is a big nonsense here. Brittany says, tuned in from Syracuse, New York. This time from my Yogi Bo while playing Stardew Valley, listening to the Raven Boys audiobook, and tuning in to the WWR. That is a lot of things. I'm impressed. Also, they all sound excellent, too. Feel like being a human is difficult today. Feel that. Already got a bit of overwhelm and overwork going on. Working on reversing that so I can have a good afternoon. I believe in you. I believe in your afternoon. I think you can do it. And I think the way you have surrounded yourself with self-care in your first answer now makes a lot of sense to me. It's like, here, I'm going to throw all the good things at myself and see if I feel better. Very wise. Okay, pulling a card for you, Brittany. I don't have a question for you. I'm just pulling a card. Okay, your card is the 10 of Cups, Brittany. You are advised. You are advised to sink deeply into the things that make you feel loved, that make you feel familial in the good sense of the word. If family is a word that's actually like a trauma word for you, because it is for a lot of people, then I'm going to say chosen family. And if that still doesn't quite cut it, I'm going to say the people and things that make you feel like you, the people that affirm your best Brittany. That's what I'm talking about. Lean into those relationships. It's more than just relationships. It's experiences together. It's things that you do. It's pastimes. It's hobbies and habits. Lean into all of it. Right now, the thing that serves you best is looking around at what you already have and just going deeper. doing more of it, of the things that feel really good to you. You know, reread a book for the 1000th time, which I know you and I are both doing right now. You know, like sink into the relationships that you know to be affirming, like be a little more in depth with them, and feel free to lean on people because that's okay. You know, you support people, people support you back. Like, it's okay. It's a constant give and take. It's a dance. It's a good thing. Make time for the things that make you feel good about yourself. Make time to make every day a special occasion, because that is going to remind you that you have so much to celebrate every single day. All right, I'm gonna pull a card for Tiger. Tiger just dropped a meow as a patron. I don't think Tiger's pulled in. So I'm just gonna mark it. It's 11:35 a.m. So about 30 minutes into the broadcast on Facebook, so I can remember to tell Tiger that. Here is your card. Your card is Judgment. Yes, it's time to awaken to the sweet, sweet song of what you already know is right. This is about your own judgment, your own wise judgment, and just believing that you have it, you know, instead of being like, what will I do? And hand wringing, and what will the universe let me do, right? That sense of like, am I allowed? Am I allowed to have the life I want? Yes, you are. And you are the one who gives yourself permission. And you are the one who puts your foot down and sets boundaries. And you are the one who announces, here's how life's going to be. And I'm going to figure out making it that way, and it's like my way or the highway, like get on the bus or go home, you know. Your judgment right now will guide you home. So listen carefully to what you're saying, listen to what you're both complaining about and wishing for, and announce to yourself, it's time to change what needs to change, and I'm going to take charge and just start lining that up and knocking them down one at a time. And if in the past you felt like, oh, I'm at the hands of fate, it's not time to let fate happen to you. It's time to happen to fate. That is your energy right now. Use your judgment. All right. Judith, my dear, I'm going to pull a card for you. I think that is my last patron who has requested a card, and I'm going to go down the list. I'm not going to words. I am not going to stop early today. Even if it takes longer than an hour, I'm going to make sure I get to everyone today, because it's the last of the year and I'm really excited. New Year's is my favorite holiday. Who has goals or resolutions or a word of the year? Or any of that, or anything like it, tell me in the chat. I really, really want to know. I really want to know. Judith, my dear, here is your card, the Star. Okay, it's time to really, really go deep into inspiration right now. It's time to follow the thread. When you feel called, drop everything and follow the call. When there's an opportunity to make art, do it. Even if it makes other things inconvenient, just do it, because this is you coming into your power. It's not just about art. It's about you and all your gifts that you bring to the world, and I know you have an idea of what those are. So when you feel one coming upon you, drop everything else and let it flow through you, because you have messages for the world right now. You are a beacon at this moment. You are both a source of like hope and wisdom, but even more importantly, by existing, you are modeling for other people what is possible. By speaking, you are letting people know what is possible. You are helping people on your own journey without even consciously reasoning, on their own journeys, without even consciously realizing it. Every time you step into your own power and be your best and biggest self. So that is your only job right now, is to be the you that you know you're meant to be. And that's not a pressure thing. That's not like, oh gosh, do all the things. No, it's just step into and embody the biggest version of yourself that you know is there waiting, that perhaps you've left waiting on the sidelines occasionally because it's not a convenient time or because other people may not understand. It's time to not worry about that and just step in and embody it. It's time to be your biggest, loudest, weirdest, most creative self. So there. Any questions? Hello, Tina. Thank you for tuning in. How are you? If you tuned in recently, everyone, if you have not already done so, if you'd like a card, the secret code is to drop a cat in the chat. Either put a cat emoji or write the word meow in the chat. And the reason that I do that is because when people say, please pull a card for me, we get spammers. I already had 2 spammers today. I don't want any more. If they come, they come. But we do what we can. Judith, you're very welcome. All right, so I'm going to first go to Instagram, then go to everybody else, just because it's easier for me to scroll one device at a time. Let's see what I have here. See a bunch of people tuned in. Ondine, first is you. Okay, pulling a card for you, Ondine. Your card. Should you choose to accept it as the High Priestess? Now is a time to go into the darkness, assuming you will find a light that you don't know is there. That is what the High Priestess is truly about. The High Priestess is about embracing the unknown and connecting with it, and even identifying it as sacred and holy work, to not know what exactly you're doing, but to be willing to go through. The only way out is through. Go into the cave, go underground. Believe that, I mean, don't literally go underground into a cave unless you have proper equipment and know what you're doing, because I don't want anyone to die as a result of my advice. Caves are dangerous from what I understand. The time is now, though, to like go right ahead, to go into what seems like a dark tunnel and ask yourself what you can do there. You know, the High Priestess isn't actually this magical, mystical figure who is just like so in tune. She's just willing to show up. She's just willing to show up for what many of us are a little daunted by. She's willing to show up for mystery. She is willing, something else we were talking about before, she's willing to not know how the story ends, but still be working on it. She's willing to just be like, all right, I don't fully understand this, but let's light a couple candles and see what we can do, right? That is High Priestess energy. So show up for the unknown. The High Priestess follows the Magician, because the Magician is about creating what you want in the known. The Magician's very practical and pragmatic. The Magician is like, here's what I've got, here's what I want to do, bing, bang, boom, I have the tools, I have the talent, I get it done. The High Priestess comes next, because then the universe is like, haha, guess what? Sometimes you may have the tools and have the talent, but you may not know what the heck to do. You may not know where you're being pulled or guided to. You may not know why these lessons are being set before you. And the High Priestess is there to say, hi, guess what? Even though you face all this uncertainty, even though there is so much that is unknown, you don't lose your responsibility to show up for yourself. So grab a candle and let's go, like we're going into the darkness. The High Priestess has a candle and is like, we're going to do our best. It's about doing your best. It's not about doing perfect. It's about assuming that by showing up for it, you will learn from it. Okay. Anna, you're here. You missed your card. I was waiting for you. And then I'm like, oh, maybe she's just not coming. Your card is Judgment. I'm going to do a quick recap for you. Anna, your card is Judgment. It's in here somewhere, but TLDR. And you can, of course, tune back in for the replay. It was about 30 minutes. So, in fact, if you're on YouTube, I think you can even rewind. I'm looking right now. It says 37 minutes. So if you go back about 7 minutes on YouTube, you will be able to replay it and hear it. But TLDR, I'll just let you know, your card is Judgment, and it's time right now to follow your own sacred judgment, to pay attention to your words, to pay attention to what is and is not working for you, to pay attention for your desires and to your complaints, and announce to yourself that you are just the person to solve it, and that other people need to get on the train or get off. You can't control other people, you can't control life circumstances, but you can make a firm decision of what is and is not going to work for you. So this is not a time to be at the hands of fate. This is a time for fate to be at the hands of you. That's the short version. That's the too long didn't read version. All right, Mary Jane. I think Mary Jane had a particular question. I am scrolling down and I'm trying to scroll down and it's like popping up my keyboard. Okay. Mary Jane dropped a cat. Seems like Mercury Gatorade. Yes. Any romantic info for the coming year? I love this question. Also, hi, Melissa. How are you? Good morning. I can't believe I didn't say hi to you before. Any romantic info for the coming year? Let's find out. We have 2 cards. My hands landed on 2. Again, we have instructions. The universe giving out instructions about romance. Today, we have the 3 of Pentacles and we have the 9 of Cups. This is really interesting. So the 3 of Pentacles is a card about acknowledging that it's cool to accept help. And it's cool to be in progress, and it's cool to seek knowledge and guidance from those we feel can help us at the moment, and recognizing that that's a shifting dance as well, right? Like if you, for example, are making a website and you don't know anything about websites, then you're on the receiving end, the student side, when a friend is like, hey, let me show you how to do your website, right? Similarly, that same friend might be struggling with, I don't know, their friggin' taxes, and you might be really good at taxes, and then they're on the receiving side. So it's not like it's important for me to say that because there's a power dynamic of like the student and the teacher, and I'm here to tell you it's a shifting role, and we all are the student sometimes and we all are the teacher sometimes. I'm not trying to push anyone into a relationship that feels one-sided, because that's generally not too healthy. But point being, Three of Pentacles leads you here. This is the second time we've had like a kind of romance question, and the second time that the Nine of Cups is the outcome. So we're like, you want to be fulfilled, you do this, because Nine of Cups is fulfillment, so here's the thing you do. So what you do is you ask for help when you need it. If you're not sure where to ask for help, you just kind of give it a whirl. You're like, hey, hello? You just, hello, does anyone know? And that, it seems, leads you to fulfillment. So that could look like in a very practical way, that could be like, okay, well, I don't know, like try doing a speed dating thing because that's a way to help me date or whatever. Or if that sounds horrible to you, then please don't do it. You know, another way to interpret it would be that you look at the areas in your life that are in progress and in development. And if you need help in any of those areas, that may actually be the place where you meet someone who may become a romantic, someone in your life. So also, I'm going to also put you on the other side of that Three of Pentacles, which is if your own gifts can be of use to other people. If you're in a kind of situation, because I'm not trying to deplete you, we're not depleting ourselves unnecessarily in 2023. If you're in the kind of situation where you see someone struggling and with your particular gifts and knowledge, you can help them in 5 minutes, whereas if they struggled alone, it might take them 5 hours or even 5 days to sort out. This is a great time for you to offer your services. This is a great time to be bold and be like, hey, I can fix that for you. You know what I mean? And maybe like teach a man to fish if it's relevant. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, right? But this is a great opportunity to say, like, I'm willing to be helped and I'm willing to help. Often we have a problem with one side or the other of that equation. So go ahead and on purpose, open yourself up to whichever side of that equation is a little harder for you, the helper or the helpee. Oh, now you're over here on Facebook. 2 friends have given thumbs up to someone who contacted me on the dated site that they know. Ooh, I love it. And I love that because we have 3 of Pentacles and like 2 friends plus you is 3. I really like that. That's really interesting. Really intrigued by your dating person. We're not depleting ourselves unnecessarily in 2023. Have you met me? Yeah, and you know what? Yep, you need it even more. Listen even harder. Yes, because have you met me? But we're doing our best in 2023. We're taking care of ourselves relentlessly. Relentlessly, my friends. All right, next up we have a cat for Melissa Marie. Oh my gosh, my battery power is down. 5%. Hang on, y'all. I got to plug in my phone because otherwise I'm going to go dark on Instagram. All right, here is the phone thingy. Hi, Insta friends. How you doing? All right, Insta friends. Next up we have Melissa Marie. Melissa definitely put a cat in the chat. I'm trying to see how I can put this phone in a way that's like reasonable now that there's a charger attached to it. I'm doing my best. Okay. Functional. Functional is all I need right now. Okay. Melissa, here is your card, my dear. Melissa, your card is the 8 of Swords. Several things about the 8 of Swords. Number 1, you're not as stuck as you believe you are. You may be having a little bit of a pity party, and I want to affirm that you're allowed to do that. We're all allowed to throw ourselves a pity party. We really demonize self-pity, and I think it's like a little bit puritanical, and you know what? Sometimes you need to throw a pity party in order to realize that you need to change a situation and you deserve a better situation. So I'm going to let you have that pity party. Everybody, you're entitled to pity parties in 2023. Just don't, what's the phrase? Like, don't build a house there. You know what I mean? But like, go ahead and hang out there if you really need to, because it might, you might cry about it and then be like, okay, and now I'm ready to make a change. And it might like be the transformation and catharsis you need. Anyway, so maybe it's a pity party where you're like not seeing actually how easy it is for you to escape and be free and be the free agent and be in your power in the way that you truly, want to be. And like I said, go ahead and have that pity party, but then like dust yourself off and be like, okay, actually I can do anything. I'm in charge of my life. Remember that is true, even if it doesn't feel like it's true, because when we have a blindfold in the tarot, it always means there's something we're not seeing, and we need to look within, not without. It's something we're not seeing. It's something we are blocked on. It may feel like an external block, but actually we have to look at ourselves and be like, do I really have as little control as I think? The answer is no. Also, we have a little bird messenger here. So pay attention to coincidences, pay attention to what people in your life are saying to you, Ask yourself if things your friends are saying to you, things that people who really know you and affirm who you are, ask yourself if things that they're saying to you may even apply on multiple levels. You know, maybe someone says one thing to you about one thing that happens one day and you're like, oh, actually, I need to think about that in the long term. You know what I mean? Pay attention, because the universe has messages for you right now. And they will help you reclaim your power should you choose to listen. This is a big reminder that you're not alone. You don't have to do it all yourself, but also that you're a lot more capable than you think. Okay? Okay. All right. I'm scrolling on the Instagrams. I don't see any other cats in Instagram. If I missed it, please tell me. If you're like, no, actually I dropped a cat, please let me know. Okay. I have a cat from Emily. How you doing, Emmy? I think that's a cat. I think I'm looking at a cat with hard eyes. It's very small on the screen, and, you know, I'm getting old. I'm 38, y'all. This is my unicorn year. If I haven't told you, I think I have told you. All right. Emily, here is your card, my love. Emily, we have the Two of Cups. Here's what I want to tell you. All your problems right now can be solved in a relationship rather than on your own. That is probably, I don't mean that you should jump into a relationship that's not good for you. That is not what I mean. When I say in a relationship, first of all, I don't mean go couple up with someone. I mean all our relationships. So what I want to tell you is we are traumatized in relationship and we heal in relationship, right? You have done so much of the self-work on your own. You have done all the things you can do to show up in a relationship with you, to value you, to take care of transforming your life and showing up and holding yourself accountable. You've done those things. Now it is time to go into the darkness and do the hard work of who are you in a relationship and how can you still own that accountability, still own that self-worth in a relationship with other people. And like headline here, it's not obvious. There's no magical rule of thumb. You kind of have to stumble through sometimes. There are going to be times in relationships, in familial relationship, in friendships, in romantic relationships, in every type of relationship that you have. There are going to be times when you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the right thing is to do. And where you feel like you have two choices and they're both wrong. And you're like, what do I do? And what you do is stumble through. What you do is your best. All you're being asked to do is your best because you have healing and learning to do. And right now, it's not about you. You've already done the self-work. Now you're doing the work of who you are in relationship to others. You're bringing those boundaries for sure. You are also bringing, your wounded vulnerability, and ask yourself, how can I show up for this vulnerability, right? How can I honor the fact that I've been wounded, protect myself with good boundaries while not shutting myself off from love, which we all need. So that is your task right now. Your task is the Two of Cups. Your task is to look at your relationships. And it's very possible that the struggles you find in your relationships right now are like struggles for you. It's not just one relationship and done. It's like, okay, this is the lesson. This is the lesson the universe is showing me. Two of Cups is a positive card, by the way. It's a good card. There is healing and learning and growth to be had in relationship for you right now. It's time you're ready. Okay, I've got a cat for Lana. Lana, let me pull a card for you. Then after that, I have Nanda Santosa. I hope I'm saying your name right. Please tell me if I'm not, because I do care. I want to get it right, and I'm not always perfect, so please tell me if I get it wrong so that I can correct myself. Lana, let's see. What do I have for you, my dear? Lana, your card is the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. We're talking about new opportunities, new possibilities. I don't think this is the first time this card has come up for you. So I'm going to just say, if this card's come up for you and you're like, what Ace of Pentacles? I'm going to say there may need to be a perspective shift. You may need to do whatever things usually work for you to make you feel inspired and empowered and like you can be in your power, making good choices for yourself. So that you can see the miracle that is available to you now. And as always, when I talk about miracles, these are miracles we create with our friends and ourselves. This does not have to be a religious proposition. This is just the miracle of people showing up to do the right thing, right? And that includes you, your people. I'm people. We're all people, right? People showing up to do the right thing. The Ace of Pentacles, especially the way it's presented, shows us like, hey, guess what? There's a really big, beautiful possibility. This lovely pentacle. And usually this is about financial stability. Like, it's often about money. Sometimes it's about health. Sometimes it's about our basic relationships, like a perspective shift is usually what happens with the aces. And specifically, it's like finding the good in the grime, right? We're out in the field, right? We're just like walking through the field with our broom. Maybe we're tending the field with our little cat. Look at this cute cat. Look how cute. Anyway, we're out in the field and we're like, oh wait, I'm in the middle of this field that I've walked 100 times. Like, this is just the field of my life, right? And I notice that there is something shiny and worthwhile and special there. So it's not, although the Ace of Pentacles is about a new leaf, for you, this is about seeing the new possibility that you have overlooked. And being like, oh, you know what? This is what I can do with this. It's time for that perspective shift that changes everything. So all you're being asked to do right now is put yourself in beginner's mind and take good care of yourself. Don't assume that the opportunity will look like what you want it to look like, because that's how you miss it. Assume that anything could be an opportunity. Like, be a wide-eyed wanderer for a little bit right now, because that is what is going to get you over the hump and get you back into feeling like you're inspired and you're creating the life you really want to create. Okay. Hello, Pasna. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. I see a meow. Happy New Year. Yes, I will fit you in. I will. I'm getting to everyone today. I think I have at least 1 or 2 people on deck before you, but yes, don't worry. I'm going to get to you. Okay, after Lana Marie, we have Nanda Santosa. Will my boyfriend live with me next year? Thank you. I'm going to tell you, before I pull a card for you, that depends on you and it depends on your boyfriend, right? These 2 people's free will is involved in this choice. This is not the hand of fate. This is human beings who have to make that decision. So when I pull a tarot card, I'm going to pull a tarot card around what can you do to make this situation work for you. And it seems like probably you want your boyfriend to move in with you if you're asking. I'm going to make that assumption, but please tell me if I'm wrong. What can you do to make the situation work better for yourself with your relationship and with your goals for the relationship, which you're allowed to have, by the way. I really affirm that you're allowed to have that. But at the end of the day, it's about your free will. It's about his free will. So the universe cannot control us. The universe can suggest lessons for us. The universe can bring us stuff that's out of our control, right? Like good stuff, we won the lottery. Bad stuff, we got a disease, you know? But the universe cannot control your free will. So that's my personal belief. Other tarot readers may feel differently. I don't feel that way, especially when it comes to romance. I think it's a useful belief to believe that we have free will and we can control our destinies and our choices and have more control over our relationships than like, is this my destiny? Is this my twin flame? I don't like the word soulmate or twin flame or destiny when it comes to love. And the reason I don't is because it puts too much pressure. Even if someone really is destined to be with you, if you're like, oh God, it's my destiny, it's my destiny, it's my destiny. Why isn't this moving faster? Like, you can give yourself a really horrible time, and romance should be joyful and exciting, you know? And it puts too much pressure. And I never want someone to make a decision because Rory the Tarot Lady told them someone was their soulmate. Like, no, we make our own choices in love. So let me pull a card for you about this situation for you. And I'm sorry to give you a little bit of a lecture. Everyone tuned in who's a regular has heard it before. All right, the answer here is justice. So the answer lies in a sense of fairness. So if it feels fair to you, because usually justice is a subjective card, even though it's like blindfolded, you may notice the person's also peeking, really indicating that justice can never truly be blind because there's too much context, right? There's too much going on. Everybody has a horse in the race, right? Like, it's nice to think about justice just being perfect, but that also means that we can't understand fully when justice has been served because we all have our own desires. So usually justice is subjective. So I'm going to advise you at this time to act in the interest of your own good karma. And I know that's been like kind of an appropriate word, so let me pick a better word. I'm going to advise you to put out what you want to receive. The energy that you want to receive. In other words, you know what I mean? Act in good faith that your good energy will come back to you. Act in good faith that by doing the right thing, you will get the right thing in return. I know the universe doesn't always act that way, but right now you do have an opportunity to engage in that way of like, what I put out will come back to me. So act in good faith in this relationship, you know, and that does mean being honest and being in your integrity. Like, if you're asking me instead of asking your boyfriend, I'm going to suggest having that conversation. If you're like, I want him to move in with me, will he? I hope you've asked him. I hope you've said, are we going to move in together? You know what I mean? Because it's very hard for someone to meet a need that you haven't told them if they don't already know it. Because not everyone has the same needs and desires, especially when it comes to relationships. Maybe you've already done that. So, my point is act in good faith here. Put yourself out, be as in your integrity as you can be, and good will come back to you. That is the lesson that is set up for you right now in this relationship. All right. Oh, good meowing from Chaka and Angela. Okay, we got Chaka and Angela. I'm so sorry. Because you're a patron, I should have gotten to you first, but I'm getting to everybody. So thank you for sticking around. Okay. I did not see the good meowing. Okay, so I'm going to do Chaka, then I'm going to do Angela. Then I am going to, let's see who else is on deck. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anyone. Good meowing from Chaka and Ange. Are there any other humans who requested a card? Judith did. I got you, Judith. I got you, Tiger. And then Upasana. So Chaka, Angela, Upasana. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this. It is now 12 o'clock. I usually quit at 1 hour in, but I'm going long. I'm getting to everyone today, and I may even pull a card for myself at the end because I deserve a card. It's been a rough week. Yes, Happy New Year. I haven't done my goals yet, but I'm excited to, and that is going to be something. And I'm going to be doing a lot of thinking because I hit 0 goals in 2022. Not blaming myself for it, because a lot of life happened in 22. A lot of tower moments happened in 2022. So, I'm allowing the progress I actually made to be something I give myself credit for, even though it wasn't the progress I set out to make. But I also am thinking about that as I set my goals for 2023. How can I set goals that will not get upended if a tower moment happens in my life? You know what I mean? I'm thinking a lot about what I can do, and this doesn't mean about me constantly doing willpower or work, because sometimes that's exactly what life upends, right? I'm thinking about what I can contribute and setting goals around my intentions, and what is possible, rather than setting goals that maybe require more help from the universe than I realize, because that's more of a wish than a goal, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with wishing, though. I'm here for, if anyone has any New Year's wishes, please tell me. I want to hear them, and I want to root for you and send you good energy. Okay, Chaka, Ange, then Upasana, but first hydration checkpoint. Cheers, everybody. Stay hydrated in 2023. Your body loves you. Chaka, we have the 7 of Pentacles. Keep doing what you're doing because it is working. But take a pause and just appreciate yourself for how much it's working. Appreciate small milestones right now. That's what the 7 of Pentacles is about. The 7 of Pentacles isn't yeah, you started a project and it's done. Good job, gold star. The 7 of Pentacles is yeah, you're on a path. You're on a journey. And you're not at the end of it yet, and probably you don't want to be. I have a feeling that you're like me, where you're the person who will always be journeying and always be learning and always be discovering things about themselves. But point being, this is not about you being at the end and getting graded at the end. This is about you giving yourself a grade right now of approval. This is about you saying, here's what I've done and here's what I've accomplished thus far. Great New Year's card. Big New Year's energy. Love it. Let's appreciate the fruits of our labor. Let's appreciate how far we have come. Let's look at where you were when you started this journey and where you are now. And specifically look at you and how you have changed and how you have grown and the things you can do that you didn't think were possible for you to do, and the resources that you have created for yourself that you didn't know was possible to create, and the things you have put into the world, the legacy you have created for other people that you didn't know it was possible to give at the beginning. And honor those things, celebrate them. Now is a time to toast to yourself in a big way. Hang on, I'm having a little weird audio issue. Doing an unpluggy and a repluggy. That did it. It did it. Okay, good. So it's time to toast to yourself. It's time to celebrate how far you've come. That doesn't mean we ignore what's going forward, but you have the internal compass if you've come this far. You already know what you want. You already know what's important to you. You already know what matters to you, what it looks like to journey forward. Now is a moment to sit and be whole in yourself, and right where you are on the journey, be yeah, I'm good. Good job, me. And appreciate all that progress. So there. Okay, Ange, this next card is going to be for you. Okay, Angela, we have the 10 of Wands. Can we put some wands down? Because you're carrying a lot of them. I want to ask you an important question. And my question is, are we carrying them because no one else can carry them because it has to be us? Or is that something we're telling ourselves, right? Is it possible? Maybe we learn that, right? Maybe there's some, again, like me, maybe there's some like parentified child things going on here where you're like, of course I have to carry the wands because who else is going to carry the wands? Well, maybe actually the people that you've surrounded yourself with who really care about you would carry a wand for you. I would carry a wand for you. You know what I mean? The question is, do you have to suffer alone in silence, or can you distribute your burden because many hands make light work and you have helped other people with their burden so they can help you with yours? And they're my damn wands. You know what? So people can't help you carry a wand. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because you both have come to my gigs over the last year, and you know that I'm working on getting better at saying yes when people offer to help me carry my gear. It's my gear. I'm like, it's my responsibility. And partly it's like, I could do it. And it's like, yeah, of course I can. Right. But it's nice when someone offers to carry a speaker or a mic stand for me. And then it does make my day a little easier, and they wouldn't ask if they minded. Right. So what if you just let people occasionally carry a wand for you? What if you allowed yourself the discomfort? Because sometimes it is about that discomfort of like, do I actually deserve respite from my burden? And I'm here to say, yes, you do. You do deserve respite from your burden, just as you give it to others, which I know you do. You do deserve kindness. You do deserve an easier go of things. Sometimes we start out on hard mode and it's no fault of our own, but then we just keep playing on hard mode because we're like, well, I guess I don't get easy mode. I guess that's for everyone else. And I'm here to tell you, you're allowed to have easy mode. Like, please give yourself easy mode if you possibly can, and let other people give it to you. Sometimes that's really hard for us. Sometimes that's a lot. Sometimes that feels harder than just carrying all the damn wands, right? So, I mean, this can be a baby steps thing. Can you let one person carry one wand for 5 minutes and just see, like, that the world doesn't end? You know what I mean? That's my loving suggestion to you. Okay, Pasna. And I've had an uncomfortable end of year because feelings and the opening up, definitely working on it. I just want to tell you, I feel that, and I'm here for you, and I send you a lot of love, and I understand. And that's like, it's funny. It's a funny thing about healing our hearts and healing trauma in particular. When we heal, like when we set out on a healing journey, right? We're like, I'm messed up, you know, like this stuff happened and I'm messed up and I'm hurting and I don't want to hurt anymore. So therefore I want to heal. And what we don't realize is that along the way of healing, like what actually happens is pretty messy, and like it opens up the painful wounds again so that we can fix them. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh gosh, now here's all my feelings. I thought I was healing, and instead of just getting more feelings, it's a mess. And I'm here to tell you, like, I'm like right in it with you. And it's obnoxious and I'm tired. But I'm here to tell you that your feelings are important and you will come out the other side, and it's okay. And please let people help you along the way because you deserve it. And please be nice to yourself along the way because you deserve that too. And be proud of yourself because it's really hard work. Okay, Pasna, I'm pulling a card for you. And I know it's part of it, but ow. I know, like, please, will somebody please make this person a sandwich? We need a sandwich for Angela, like a feel better sandwich. That's an inside joke. You're like, why are you recommending sandwiches? I know, I feel you. And I'm sending you grace vibes. I feel like grace is my solution. And, you know, like when things are hard and it hurts, it's like, maybe I don't need healing now. Maybe I need grace. Give me grace. May things be easier than you think they are. May you have pleasant surprises. May you have spontaneous moments of healing and epiphany. Sandwiches are always good. Sometimes. There are bad sandwiches in the world. I don't wish bad sandwiches on any of you. All right, Upasana, here we go. This is your card. It's the Three of Wands. You have the power. The person who has the power is you. If you're waiting for someone to give you permission, good news. The only person you need permission from is yourself. So this is important. If you're like, oh, can I move forward? Can I do the thing? The universe is like, yes, you can. You already have the ability within you. If you've been like, hey, universe, please help me move forward. Please help me change my life. The universe is like, just do it. Like, go. Like, boom, permission granted. You have to take the first steps, because until you take those steps, you don't realize how easy it's going to be. Until you're like, well, let me give it a try. You may find yourself like being worried. You may find yourself going like, I don't know, well, what if I try and I fail? And well, first of all, what happens, I could tell you because I've tried and failed at a lot of things. And what happens is it teaches you things, and then the next time you try, you don't do that failure again because you learned a thing. And so it's not really the worst. It's not the worst fate in the world. I could tell you there are worse fates. But this is not about you trying and failing. This is about you stepping into the idea of like, oh, maybe I have more power than I think. Maybe I'm better at this than I think. Maybe I can do more than I think. And the only way to really teach yourself that, you might be waiting until you feel secure. Like, don't wait till you feel secure. Just do the thing, because what will happen is you will teach yourself that you're good at doing the thing by doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? Take the first steps and trust yourself to take them. Signing off because I'm supposed to have an afternoon date with Danny. Have a great date. Have a good date, you guys. Have a wonderful. So that's your message from the Three of Wands, is you have the power. The power is in your hands. Trust that you have it, and now wield it. Now go ahead and take steps and assume that you'll be able to handle what happens when you put yourself out there. Pasta says, nice. Thank you and a happy new year. You're so welcome. You're very welcome. All right, y'all. That is the end of our card pulls. If you were not here for the first card pull, I will reiterate it for you. It was the Nine of Wands. Anyone who has been through a crappy ass year, me, hi. We're in the home stretch. We're in the home stretch. The things you care about are still worth it, so don't give up. This is not a time to be like, oh, whatever, I guess it didn't work out. No, don't give up, but know that you're in the home stretch. Know that it's gonna be easier soon, okay? That's important for you. I'm going to pull a card for myself. Y'all can stick around or not as you like. I just feel like I deserve a card too. It's New Year's Eve. It's one of my favorite holidays. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's the Page of Cups, you guys. I'm really happy to see the Page of Cups. I love this Page of Cups because it's about creativity as well as vulnerability, because there's nothing more vulnerable than putting something you created into the world. Something like that's putting a piece of your heart into the world. Talk about wearing your heart on your sleeves. The Page of Cups is here telling me that yes, it can be better, and I may not have it all figured out yet, but it is worth figuring it out along the way. It's worth just saying, okay, I'm going to try. Pages always tell you to try. Thank you, Page of Cups. I believe you, and you're right. All right, everybody, that brings us to the end of the Witchy Weather Report. Thank you so much for being in my life. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for spending time with me today. Next Witchy Weather Report will be the last Saturday of January. I'm going to post my links in the chat one more time. They're on the link in my bio if you're watching on Instagram, but I hope you will subscribe to Sassafrascast, where you can get more of this vibe, for free as a podcast once a month. I hope if you love this and you want to become a patron, patrons get to skip the line, get a couple other cool benefits. Please feel free, patreon.com/sassafrastarot. If you want to throw some love in the virtual tip jar, thank you, I love you. If you don't, that's also okay. It's always appreciated, it's never expected. And if you want to order a guide card reading, $18, a card to guide your whole year. It's not a predictive card. It's a card that is a touchstone. It's a card that you turn to when you're like, what the crap do I do? The card tells you every time throughout the year. It's your big lesson for the year. And you get a PDF that kind of explains how you can use that card. It's $18. It's on my Etsy shop. I just put that link in the chat. All right, everybody. Thank you for spending time with me today. I will see you another time. Bye.